Okay, I'm in Central Oregon, I suppose. Like maybe, I don't know, a few dozen miles southeast of La Pine, Oregon. I'm at a place called Crack in the Ground. It's very quiet here. There's nobody else here right now. And this is the crack, part of it. It's really long and some places wide. I'm not going to go through this boulder crawl here, but I want you to look at those two rocks there. They're wedged in there. They're huge boulders, and they're just barely wedged in. I know, it'd be kind of scary to try to get in underneath those two. So if you park at the parking lot, come down here, this is where you'll end up first. This little tiny picnic area, and there's a sign-in sheet that's completely full, so I didn't even sign in. There's a tiny crack over there. Tiny meaning narrow, super deep. But this one over here is doable. I'm gonna totally go through here and show it you. Hopefully it'll come out on camera okay. So the floor is not too steep. I don't have to worry about holding on my hands or anything like that. Just walk carefully so I don't trip on the rocks. It's weird, I haven't even gone down much, but the walls of the crack are already like 10 feet higher than me easily. And it's still sloping down, down, down. So it's about noon here, so there's a lot of light getting down in the crack. So hopefully the lighting is going to be good for video. I don't know, it might be better to come here at sunrise or sunset when there's no direct sunlight, so it'll be more even lighting. I don't know. So supposedly this is volcanic, like a collapsed lava tube or something like that. I'm not sure. What's weird, there's obvious signs of erosion too. That's why I'm going so slow here. I want you to take a look at this wall here. Look at how rounded the rocks are. This is the kind of stuff I would expect to see at the beach in an erosion cave. Look at this little horizontal, it's that cool little nooks and cranny here. Like I said, this is really, really smooth. I would almost expect this to be erosion. So I'm wondering if this is formed from a air bubble when the cave formed or what? Because basically, if I understand correctly, this is a lava cave, but the roof collapsed or something. Or maybe it's split, kind of like tectonic plates, but it is definitely volcanic. I don't think it's a lava tube though. It's weird how there's these horizontal layers, but look, this is full of air bubbles. There's no sign of air bubbles. This is full of air bubbles, hardly any sign of air bubbles. So it's like weird alternating layers, like sedimentary rock, but it should be obvious this is not sedimentary rock. Here's another place where I was saying it looks smooth, like erosion. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe they're really big air bubbles. And again, here's a cool place where you can see through the rock. Little tiny hole through the rock. Tiny meaning a couple inches in diameter. Let's see if I can get in the shade so I'm not facing the sun. And again, here we are, where nice rounded areas. Really, wow. Again, I'm guessing this is from air bubbles. I talked briefly with the ranger here who was cleaning the outhouse, but I didn't really interrogate him for a lot of information. So. Notice the ground is still sloping down. I don't know if the camera is showing it very well. I'm standing. Oh, geez. The surface level is like 50 feet above me. And as you can see, the ground is still sloping down. My camera is roughly level now. So that you should be able to see how the floor of this crack, or whatever you want to call it, is definitely sloping way down. Geez, look how bright that green is from the moss. Obviously, there's some sunlight down here right around noon, especially this time of year. So, yeah, there's a lot of pretty greenery. Pretty good lighting, considering we're, man, I want to pan up, but we'll be facing the sun. See if I can pan up anyway. There we are. That's looking, like I said, at least a few dozen feet up. There's some ferns right there on the ledge. Definitely a cute little ecosystem here. Of course, this time of year, they had some rain recently. So even the sagebrush, the high desert is pretty green right now compared to other times of the year, like late summer, fall. Now you notice the floor sloping back up. What caused that? Couldn't tell you. Now the floor is nice and smooth. Notice there's some steam coming up because of the sunlight making the water evaporate. This is definitely not a lava tube. Lava tubes usually much smoother than this. Not a bunch of... Notice there's a lot of nooks and crannies here in between the rocks. Not a lot of room, so it's not like you can go crawling off to the side or anything weird like that. So here, notice there's a junction to the left or right. I already know the punchline. Left is a dead end unless you want to crawl. I'm gonna go ahead and go left then, but then come back. Notice there's a cool little ledge here. If you're feeling brave, that's a shortcut up to that other side, other trail. As long as you can watch where you're going, this is pretty easy though. Here's my little dead end. If I want to keep going without backtracking, I can either climb up here to the right, or I could crawl through here. Without knee pads, I really don't feel like doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and just go back the way I came and then take the other trail. All right, so there's the way back. Of course, turning left here isn't necessarily a dead end either, but it's more fun to go back the way I came. So here's that ledge I told you about. Down there is just where I was. You have to be kind of brave to crawl down there. I think I'll go the long way. Got a lot of wheat or some other kind of grass here. Notice I'm only like 20 feet above the surface now. I'm much higher up. So here's that way I told you you could climb up from that lower trail here. Or told you if you had knee pads, or just don't care about your knees, you could crawl out through there. But a lot of kids had fun doing that, but I think I'll let them have fun without me. Here are the rocks, the trail. This is the kind of wear and tear from people climbing up and down all the time. That's why you try to be gentle with places like this, but realistically, if you're going to be here, wear and tear is inevitable. It's not going to heal or grow back. So, yeah. At least most people are staying on the trail, so there's plenty of vegetation to the side. Check this out. We got trees growing down here. Because here it's like 10 feet wide. It's pretty. Lots of room. Which means there's plants growing. Saw a butterfly just now. Dandelions. Wonder if these are considered weeds here or if there's actually natural flower. I know people with lawns, they hate dandelions. It's a flower. Here's another spot, just like before, where I told you where there's huge air bubbles in the rock. At first I thought this was erosion because it's rounded. Wow, look at this.